David has probably never stopped to think what a wonderful thing sleep is.
Whether it's a long trip or a dull business meeting, or just the odd bout of depression, taking a nap to make the time fly by is something we all do. Cryogenic sleep is very much like that. It helps you pass the time, with a little twist. It also helps you cheat death. Intrigued much? Cryogenic sleep, also known as suspended animation or cryosleep, has been one of the core concepts of science fiction for a long time. Many of our favorite heroes hit their frozen sacks in sci-fi movies. Well, okay, some weren't that eager for this kind of thing. Although the origin of suspended animation in our imagination goes back to fairy tales such as Sleeping Beauty, we have not yet reached the technological maturity to take serious steps in this regard. But we are trying. NASA has been working on a cryogenic sleep chamber for astronauts in collaboration with SpaceWorks Enterprises. The cryosleep technology works by lowering the astronaut's body temperature to 89 to 93 degrees Fahrenheit, inducing a state of hibernation. Catheters would be used to supply nutrition and remove waste. The goal of this technology is to keep crew and passengers in a prolonged hypothermic state during space mission transit phases, outbound and return to Earth, to significantly reduce system mass, power, habitable volume, and medical challenges associated with long-duration space exploration. Although this technology will slow the astronaut's metabolism to a certain point, it cannot be labeled as sci-fi-grade cryogenic sleep. Matteo Seri, who is a physiologist at the University of Bologna in Italy, says, "The core characteristic of hibernation is that you suddenly stop consuming energy. If you're not consuming any fuel, you're going to cool down." Other projects are going on, of course. The Southern Hemisphere's first known cryonics facility is located on the outskirts of a tiny rural town in southern New South Wales. Southern Cryonics' goal is to freeze human remains in liquid nitrogen in the hope that they can be thawed and reanimated in the distant future. And this facility is expected to receive its first cryo guests this year. The price is $150,000 plus a $350 yearly subscription fee. This $150,000, on the other hand, is payable at the time of suspension, which could be many years in the future and may be subject to cost-related increases. Typically, the $150,000 is covered by life insurance. Too good to be true? Well, yeah. Here's the thing. Southern Cryonics Director Peter Solakades admits that there are no guarantees in cryonics. "We're not saying that we'll get you back in 200 years, he says. Cryopreservation with today's technology is a one-way trip from which you may never recover, so it is only permitted for people who are already legally dead. Yes, you have to first die if you want to cryogenically cheat death. Here's the procedure. After death has been legally declared, the body will be stabilized to supply the brain with enough oxygen and blood to maintain minimal function. To prevent blood clots, it will be packed in ice and injected with heparin, an anticoagulant. Water will then be removed from the body's cells and replaced with cryoprotectant, a glycerol-based chemical or human antifreeze. The body will then be cooled on dry ice until it reaches minus 202 degrees Fahrenheit, at which point it will be placed in a container inside a larger metal tank that will be filled with liquid nitrogen to keep it at around minus 320 degrees Fahrenheit. However, as you can see, we are talking about a very serious procedure that requires extreme expertise. Fortunately, you're already dead and you don't have much to lose. But what about pulling this trick on a live human? This is a very complicated matter. Our cells are filled with water. When water freezes, it expands and forms crystals that cause irreversible damage to the body. When DMSO, or another molecule called glycerol, is injected into cells and cooled, it forms glass inside the cell instead of ice. However, these molecules are toxic and most cells can't survive the vitrification process. Furthermore, to preserve an entire human body, especially the brain, we have to attend to the specific needs of each type of cell. A very smart and very enhanced type of nanocryotech is what we need to achieve this. According to Professor Gary Bryant, who is the Associate Dean of Physics in the School of Science at RMIT University, this is not very probable. Professor Bryant said, "From a scientific viewpoint, there is no chance that any bodies frozen using current technologies will be able to be brought back to life." So it appears that our dreams of traveling the galaxy while sleeping in a cryogenic sleep chamber will have to be abandoned. And the frozen dead might have to stay that way for a long while.